Well, I've always had a love for food in general. While a lot of other kids were watching cartoons, I was watching the Food Network. I've always tried to bake pretty much my whole life. And then falling into this where I met my business partner, Courtney, she was just so extremely talented. And I learned pretty much, don't tell her I said this, but I learned everything I know from her as far as specializing it and really owning it on the craft. So for a long time, but I really got into it about 5 years ago when the business kind of took off.
Where'd you meet Courtney?
Well, towards the beginning, Courtney went to culinary school. She'd been doing cakes for several years, almost 10 years. So she already had a huge following just from her cakes. And then, so while her and a couple friends came up with the concept of Rock City Cake Company, I was kind of there from the beginning. And then about a year into it is where I really got involved, and me and Courtney decided to continue our way with it, and it kind of grew from there.
A lot of people are kind of weary about starting businesses in rural communities in Appalachia. Of course, Charleston is one of the more metropolitan areas, but do you feel like when a place like this opens that the community really grasps and holds on to it and appreciates it in a way?
I can only speak for our experiences. Either the people... I've seen a lot of really good businesses not make it. And I think it's just a matter of marketing or, little things here. But over time, it's a full-time job. It's like a baby. And if you're willing to dedicate your life to it and creating a brand, I think people jump all over it. I mean, I know in Charleston, you have several examples. You have us, you have Pies and Pints, you have Taylor Books, you have places like that who essentially are all small businesses, and they have a packed out lobby every day, because they've created a brand. The people love the environment there and they come there. And I think that's a huge part of it too, is just creating a brand for yourself. We're probably not the best bakery in the state of West Virginia. There's a lot of really awesome, talented bakers, but people come here because not only do they love our sweets, but they love our brand and they love the environment. When they come in here, they like to hang out. They know they get treated kindly. And I think it's all about, creating that vibe for yourself.
Right. All right. So some of the business model basics we can kind of get into. In the beginning, how did you know what to charge for a cupcake?
Honestly, as far as Logan goes, it was tough because there wasn't really anything like that around. Of course you had your old school bakeries and Walmart and but there was nobody that really sold like specialty gourmet items and it was really hard for the small town mindset to accept the fact that like, hey, we have over $1 just in costs. You're going to have to pay to give us. So that was difficult. But then moving to Charleston, like we kind of just, where there was other specialty bakeries, we didn't want to undercut anybody. So we kind of just price compared to the people around us, and that made it a lot easier. And I mean, 99.9% of the time, a lot of people around here understand the time and the money that goes into it. So we never really have any problems with that.
Right. So what's it like being an Appalachian entrepreneur, like building something out of nothing?
Well, I mean, it feels good. It's really kind of like a ha-ha, because a lot of people, have such a bad reputation sometimes. And people's like, you can't build something in southern West Virginia. It's a dying economy. It's a dying state. And that's so wrong. Like, if you would just get out and come downtown or wherever, like, there's such an art community. There is a music scene. Like, there is, like, all these little shops and all these little restaurants. And we have so much to offer. And on top of what's already a totally beautiful canvas. And it's just, I feel like that we have a lot more to offer than people give us credit for. So just being able to play a little tiny part in that, in growing it and being like, haha, like, look at this big business and look at that one and that one. It just feels really good.